Hey guys, I was gonna get a haircut with a celebrity, but that got cancelled, so I had to go with the normal hairdresser, and I'm not 100% happy, but it's good enough, right? But I just realized something. My favorite hate comment has been deleted. No! Like, someone hated on one of my videos, and I think it was the one where I'm saying why I'm never gonna work a single day again. God damn it. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I've been through the ringer. I mean, I can summarize it all a lot faster than normal now. Like, I had the wrong parents, the wrong grandparents, the wrong teachers, the wrong students, one bad gene, the wrong doctors, the wrong university. I starved for 4 months, leading to permanent bodily damage. Let's see. Oh yeah, I became disabled on my 20th birthday, right before the starvation. I've had 15 medical conditions at the same time. No, not at the same time, but in total. And I've had 10 at the same time. Yet another world record. And yeah, those are essentially the things that make my life difficult, or made it difficult, in the past. And that's a lot for you to absorb all at once, I know. But whatever. But I remember in that video where I got my favorite hate comment, I mentioned that the government owes me more or less 35 million Norwegian crowns. Yes, that sounds like a lot, 35 million sounds ridiculous, but hello, crowns? I didn't say dollars, euros, or pounds. It's roughly 4 million US dollars, I guess, or 3.5 million British pounds slash euros. And since I've heard of people making mistakes in America and then suing for their own mistake and getting 10 million, I would say my 4 million is actually not that much comparatively. On its own, yeah, it's a lot. It's enough for me to live my whole life without working a single day in my life. And seeing as I didn't become disabled, but I was made disabled, it's actually a fair amount, I think. I mean, wouldn't you say so? When your government employs the wrong teachers and the wrong doctors, leading to permanent damage to your body, your psyche, and all of that, and you become disabled, don't you deserve compensation? Of course you do. I mean, what if your neighbor breaks the window on your house? Don't you deserve compensation from him? Yes, you do. What if the neighbor's kid throws a rock in the air, it lands on your car and scrapes it up? Yeah, you deserve compensation from the parents of that kid. But here's the thing. My favorite hate comment, as far as I can remember, it said that, no, you don't deserve compensation. The tax dollars shouldn't go to you, and if you don't get off your ass and do something, you will be a pathetic loser for the rest of your life. And I fucking love the comment, because it proves me right about what humans are like, what human beings are like, and their worst qualities. And that's why I love the comment. And it doesn't hurt me, it doesn't hurt my feelings, because I know it's false, I know it's not true. And I have this amazing thing when it comes to insults, because hey, I'm more logical than 98% of people, so I can take this comment and view it completely objectively and logically. But essentially, he says that no, I don't deserve compensation for the 50 years of medical malpractice I have under my belt. I don't deserve compensation for being given PTSD from almost being killed on school grounds. I don't deserve compensation for teachers yelling me in my face when I was younger, when all I wanted was to do math properly, but no, the teacher yelled at me and said, you don't do math this way, you can't do it. There's no way you can look at an equation and then just write the answer. You can't possibly know that. You must be cheating, you must be doing something wrong. Like, if you yell at a kid for 7 years and the kid doesn't improve, something's wrong with you, not the kid. You need to teach in an alternate way. But no, instead I get put into retard class. And apparently, that's something I don't deserve compensation for. Even though a teacher in high school just sat down with me for less than 5 minutes and solved 7 years of math problems in just those 5 minutes. And I went from below average in math to almost getting the top grade. I was just one level below. So you know, all it would have taken was 5 minutes. The teacher had 7 years and failed. But somehow I don't deserve compensation for that. Strange. And what about when I was crippled? You know, because my doctor wasn't doing their job, didn't take a blood test, just an average blood test could have shown what was in my blood, and it could have shown I had hundreds of units of this very bad gene that was causing inflammations. But hey, the doctors were bad, very bad. They didn't know that. And so this inflammation caused me to lose 60% of my strength within 5 years. And what happens when you lose that much? Well, you become crippled, defenseless, unable to defend yourself in a 1 versus 1 battle. So what happens when in your class there are 4 black guys and they are very racist? Of course they're gonna beat the shit out of you, and when they learn you can't defend yourself, well, they're gonna make it a regular thing. And what happens when you go to the teacher and he doesn't do shit? Well, then you get punched so hard your discs come out of their sockets. You get punched so hard that your jaw gets messed up for life, and there's no way to actually fix it medically. And not to mention you also get choked until the point where your throat shatters. And I don't deserve compensation for this, according to this comment. Now, I could go on about these things, but I think I've made my point. Do you think it's really right, justified, to not give compensation when somebody experiences this? I don't think so, because the teachers were employed by the government, the doctors were again employed by the government. So, in other words, what happens on school grounds and with the classmates, that goes back to being the government's fault, teachers, government's faults, doctors, again, government's fault. So in other words, yeah, the government does owe me more or less 35 million Norwegian crowns, because the medical malpractice should be worth around 25 million, although I'm basing that off of a cancer patient's medical malpractice and how much he got, so it could be wrong. And 5 million for me getting PTSD sounds good, because a guy who only got anxiety, social anxiety from his bullies, he got 5 million. So PTSD, which is arguably worse, 5 million, I'm undershooting, but it seems fair. And then for the rest of the general injuries, the mockery, and so on, 5 million. Yeah, it's probably worth more than that, but I'm lowballing. And there you go, 35 million. I've made more or less a claim. Here you go. But yeah, I did actually go to a court case about getting compensation. I didn't say how much I wanted. I just employed a lawyer. He was paid for by the government because I don't earn even minimum wage. And so, yeah, they declined my claim for compensation despite all the evidence, because the government put a thing in place, like a regulation, where if you wait more than 3 years, you don't get jack shit. The only way to get jack shit is if you're not mentally stable or clear, which I had not been, but because I'm more logical than 98% of people and managed to survive in a situation where many people would have died, they thought I was mentally clear, which I wasn't. It's not my fault I'm extremely logical, okay? I was able to live just because I was logical. But no, they took that as evidence. They took it as evidence to say that I had never been mentally unstable, and so I couldn't be granted compensation, which I think is bullshit when I have a documented suicidal attempt at around that time, just a year before the court case. So I would say that should prove it, but no. But I also guess if they approved my claim, then this would make national news. Like, this would be ridiculous. I mean, have you ever heard of a guy with 50 years of medical malpractice before the age of 21? Probably not. Have you ever heard of a guy becoming crippled, or rather, should we say handicapped, age 8, crippled, age 13, finally normal for 6 months at age 19 after a shit ton of effort, just to become disabled on his 20th birthday? No. It's a horrible story. Horrible, horrible story. But yeah, also, to go back to that hate comment, right, that I loved, saying that I need to get off my ass and do shit, like, he completely undermines anything else I've said and anything I've tried. Because I can tell you something. On my day-to-day basis, something I didn't realize that proved that I was disabled all along is actually that I can't vacuum enough on my own. I can't clean enough on my own, I can't do the dishes on my own, I can't dispose of paper trash on my own, I can't keep up with cardboard trash on my own, I can't buy my groceries on my own. These are 6 very core day-to-day, daily things that I am not capable of anymore. Yeah, I'm not. And like this whole time I didn't know I had this evidence right in front of me. Like, I was constantly using the work, right? The work that the government forced me into forced labor. I was using that to prove I was disabled. With like a 20% attendance for working 3 days a week. Half days, I was only ever forced to work half days. But yeah, 3 days a week, I'm there 20% of the time. I work 2 days a week, I'm there 30% of the time. I work 1 day a week, 1 half day a week. I'll be there 40% of the time. And that should be proof enough. But hate comments never bother, yeah, right? They never believe that. But then I have all this other evidence. Holy crap. But yeah, remember earlier when I listed like 15 things at the start of the video that was bad with my life? Yeah, it turns out after starvation, I actually went down to 50 kilos, losing 27 kilos, all my muscles and all of that. And then, as I started eating normal 2000 calories a day, up to 104 kilos. And I've been unable to lose that weight, I've been unable to build muscle, and I've been unable to recover within a reasonable time after exercising. So in other words, 3 really good things here that prove I am actually disabled again on top of all the other things. Because working out, or even just going to work, makes me really sick. I actually get super ill, and I get seizures that come instead of being every few weeks with 1 seizure, it's gonna be multiple seizures every day. Every single day. Holy fuck. But then I can also prove that, hey, I can go to the gym and just work out in 4 different exercise programs. None of them work, all of them make me super sick, and I become unable to work out. But on top of that, I've tried 7 diets. 7 different kinds of diets, all of which failed. All of which had no impact on my bodily weight, but a lot of them sure made me feel hella uncomfortable after 1 to 2 weeks. So yeah, it doesn't work. And I even tried a super spicy diet for as much as 4 months, to the point where I was getting side effects from too much sodium in my body. Still, no weight difference. So I had to dial that back down to get rid of the side effects, and then back to my normal self. So yeah, I would say I've actually done pretty damn well trying to become able-bodied again. And people undermine that just because I say, I wish I got compensation and I think I deserve compensation. And 100%, yeah, I do deserve it because I went through hell. I went through shit. Like, do you know what it's like to be on antibiotics for 6 years because your doctor thinks that he's all high and mighty and is alright? Then of course he dies and you get a new one, and then she's all high and mighty because, oh, she had this prestigious university degree from 30-40 years ago, and that makes her a good doctor today. Not good. Not good. And these are the people I've had to work with my whole life when I went and said, hey, something's wrong with my eye, and they're like, more antibiotics, more antibiotics. After 6 years on that, the illness that was being covered up by the symptoms that were covered up, the symptoms started to come back because the underlying cause that had become so big my eye was literally dying. It couldn't breathe, it didn't get oxygen. Shit. But yeah, I actually set up something earlier in this video and I forgot to use it, and now is a good time. Remember how I said that if somebody breaks your window on the house, then the guy who breaks it should pay for it? Yeah, essentially this comment, this hate comment, it said something about that I really like. It's essentially, like, the comment also said that I should just kill myself. Like, if I'm not willing to do these things, get off my ass and stop being a loser, then I should kill myself. And by analogy, that means if somebody breaks the window on your house, you should burn your house down. If somebody scrapes your car, you should blow it up. Blow up your car. What kind of logic is this? But it goes back to the logic of a lot of people on this planet, because a lot of people are dumb and a lot of people are mean. And in this case, they're looking to punish the victim, not actually the criminal or the perpetrator. And I don't think that makes sense. But the majority of humans actually do this very disgusting thing that I think is the worst human quality. And it's that we hurt people because they're hurt. We love doing this. I personally don't. I've never done that. I think it's disgusting. But other people do. So many people do. They see someone who's hurt and they want to hurt them more. And I think that has to do with this. The fact that somebody says, oh, you had a bad doctor, which led to malpractice, which led to injury, which led to you becoming disabled, which led to you making a video. Well, that should also lead to you killing yourself then. You should kill yourself in response to that. I don't see how that's logical. Like, what I see with that is I see that's a doctor who should get fired, and maybe a person who should get some sort of compensation or medication or proper care. But for some reason, a lot of other people see something completely different. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but my opinion is their opinion is bullshit. It's completely wrong. It's very wrong, illogical, doesn't make sense. So yeah. Hopefully you now understand what the hate comment was about, roughly, and maybe why I think it's wrong at least. So yeah, what do you think? What do you think about my life and where I've come, where I've been? Like, I've done the best. I mean, I'm turning 24 next month. I became disabled on my 20th birthday. So that marks 4 years of being disabled. During 3 of which years I was forced into working. I was working out on my own. I dieted on my own. And after all of this proving I was unable to actually work and be active on a regular basis, I gave up. I said, yep, I'm disabled, so I give up. And after that, only after that point in life when I gave up and listened to my body and acknowledged that I couldn't do it, I actually started becoming healthier. I started becoming happier. I let stuff go. And I feel so good nowadays. So good. And you see that cat tree over there? Yeah. The cat that's gonna live there, it's coming in 2 or 3 months. If I'm lucky. If I'm lucky. So yeah, life's gonna be good. Sure, I have 66% of the minimum wage. I have 0 compensation. Will never see compensation. And I was supposed to earn 200% of the minimum wage to 300% of the minimum wage, which means I have 1/5 of the money I should have, 20% of the money I should have. But life's good, okay? Like, I was supposed to work 8 hours a day and get 5 times as much money. But I'm also okay if I have to work 0 days a week, 0 hours a day, and I can live like I do now and almost have my dream life. It's good enough for me, okay? I'll settle for this because by comparison I could have it way worse. Way, 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 way worse. So I like it. I like my life. I just hope they're gonna give me the disability welfare at some point within the next 2 years, because yeah, it sucks being on 66% of the minimum wage because they will not recognize me as disabled even if they proved I was disabled. Which makes no sense. Duh! I wanted to end this video, but I may as well explain it fully so people don't have to go looking in other bad videos I made, yeah? But essentially, I started off with emergency money while starving, right? 70% of that was stolen by my university because the university was very bad, threatened to kidnap me and shit. Unless I paid them, so I paid them. Then I was finally put on looking for work welfare, whatever that's called, and that's what I've been staying on for over 3 years. Like, they put you on this for 3 years normally, your unemployment welfare, that's what I'm gonna call it, and then they gave me an extension to get a 4th year of it, which is unusual, but that happens. And at the end of the 4th year of unemployed welfare, they are supposed to move you to disability welfare if you have not become healthy enough to work, which I haven't. But they have done something completely incredible that my psychologist didn't even know that they could, and it's they have bumped me up to 5 years of unemployed welfare. 5 years of 66% of the minimum wage. That's incredible. So yeah, now that I'm turning 24, right, I will have been on this welfare for 4 years soon, but they're upping me to 5 years before it runs out, because yeah, it's dumb if it runs out and then you have to go through a whole line of people to finally get the 5th year. So of course they do that automatically, and that's good. But yeah, in a few months, my 5th year of welfare is gonna begin, and I guess they gave me the news 3 months ahead or something. So it's gonna be like January or February, I think, when I finally get the 5th year, when that starts. So yeah, that's strange. But I'm hoping to, at least thanks to my new doctor who is actually good, to get some sort of diagnosis that we can use to say, hey, I'm disabled. Because it's not fun to be forced into a job by the government and be threatened with, hey, you're gonna be evicted, you're gonna have all your money taken away, unless you go to this job here that we're forcing you into. It's not very fun, especially not after being made disabled, and when going to work makes you incredibly sick and have seizures. I don't like it. But you know, the many months you get between each workplace, amazing. And thanks to a loop in the system, like a loophole, where my last place of work didn't fill in a certain document, I've actually been able to not work for 1.5 years. While normally I'm supposed to have like 6 months between each job, I've now been able to have 1.5 years with no work, and it's been incredible. I've spent so much time doing what I want, doing new hobbies, and making friends. It's been wonderful. I love this, and I want this to be the life. Like, I want this to be my life for the rest of my life, just with more money. Then I would be happy, and a cat. You know, money, cat, and maybe a woman. Like, those are the things that would make my life perfect, I think. Really, that's all I need. All I need is a companion. Yeah. And maybe some more anime. That would be nice. So yeah, I wanted to end the video long ago, but hey, I had more stuff to say, okay? As usual. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Good luck with your life. I hope it doesn't end up like mine.